Susan Scarry, along with my co-host Rob at Funky Monkey Radio, and joining me today on the show is Gary Big Daddy Goodridge. Big Daddy is known and loved to fans worldwide and boasts an impressive mixed martial arts record of 23 wins. He was a 2005 K1 World Grand Prix in Hawaii champion. In 2005, he was also a K1 World Grand Prix in Las Vegas runner-up. And in 2006, he was a runner-up at the K1 World Grand Prix in Las Vegas. He boasts impressive wins against Valentin Overeem at Pride 14 Clash of the Titans and was a Pride Grand Prix 2000 quarterfinalist. In the UFC, he fought some of the best, including Don Frye, Mark Coleman, Mark Shultz, and Jerry Bohlander. And his UFC 8 TKO of Paul Herrera, ending in just 13 seconds, is a fight fans still talk about today. Gary was also the super heavyweight champion of Canada in amateur boxing and is a world-class arm wrestler, having too many titles to list here. But trust me, fans, he's a champ at this as well. Goodridge was born in St. James, Trinidad and Tobago, before moving to Barrie, Ontario, Canada. He attended John Glenn High School in New Concord, Ohio, and graduated in 2003. Gary's book, Gatekeeper, The Fighting Life of Gary, Big Daddy Goodridge, is a must-read for anyone who likes the sport of MMA and wants to hear its perspective of the sport from a man who was in MMA when it first started. Gary, welcome to the show today.
Hello, everybody.
Joining us today is Brian Moore, promoter of the Legends of MMA Tour and creator of the MMA Hall of Fame, of which Gary is now a proud partner of. Welcome, Brian.
Thank you for having me.
My first question is for Gary. How did you get the name The Gatekeeper?
The Gatekeeper, you know what? I don't even know where that came from. I have no idea where that came from, but people started calling me that. So I suspect it came from Japan when I was fighting in Pride, and they called me the Gatekeeper because I suspect because you have to be at my level first in order to fight in there.
You have a big tour coming up here, man, in Ohio. It's the Legends of MMA Tour. Tell us a little bit about that and where you're going to be at and how that all came about.
You know what? I can tell you a little bit about it, but the man that really tells you about it is Brian Moore. He's the man that set everything up. I'm very excited about going there. It can't happen fast enough. Brian Moore set it up for us to go down and help out Mark Coleman. He's had a double hip replacement surgery, and we're just standing up fighters for fighters, you know.
Yep.
Brian, can you tell us when that tour is starting? Can you give our listeners any details on it?
Yes, I could. We're actually starting tomorrow, Thursday, April 9th. We will be at Buffalo Wild Wings in Sydney, Ohio from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. We'll be doing an old school fight night, watching Gary videos, doing an autograph session, a meet and greet with fans. Then on Friday, April the 10th, we're doing something that's really important to him. We're meeting with the kids at the West Central Juvenile Detention Centers in Troy. We'll be dealing with the kids from the detention side and the rehab side. We'll be spending a few hours with them. We'll be also on April 10th, we'll be doing Frickers from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. on Chambersburg Road in Huber Heights, and Hooters of Dayton on Miller Lane between 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. Saturday, April 11th, that's a big stop for us. It's the UFC gym in Westchester, right outside of Cincinnati. It's going to be open to the public. If you want to come out and see what the UFC gym is all about, we'll be there from 9 a.m. until noon doing an autograph session. We'll also be doing seminars with some of their coaches. We have a lot of stops. The Pickle Mall, we'll be doing them the 11th between 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. Buffalo Wild Wings on the 11th from 7 to 9. And then a big one there in Dayton as well at EFS Gyms on April 12th between 2 and 4.
I think Debo just joined us. Debo, are you on the line?
Yes, I am, everybody. How you doing? Thanks for having me.
Hey. Welcome to the show, Debo. So we've got Gary and Brian Moore on today. Do you have a question for Mr. Goodridge?
No, Gary, I was just looking over your combat record, and a lot of rounds, both in the kickboxing side and the mixed martial arts side. How did you keep yourself in such tip-top shape, ready to take fights and always be ready to go?
That was just it. I used to train with this guy, an older guy called Roman. This guy was we used to make fun of him and call him the Nazi death drill sergeant. This guy would have you lifting logs and doing the stuff that actually people are doing now in a different way. But he had me doing all sorts of crazy things in order to stay in shape. And I followed him. I bet that's what I had to do. And I had a sister, my youngest sister. Well, she's just younger than me. Her name is Susie. Susie Goodridge. She was behind me, and I used to just make sure I was in shape. That was her job. Her job was just to make sure that I was in shape.
I think I read in the book, Gary, as well. Didn't Susie at some point quarter you in some of the fights as well?
Oh, lots of them. Most of my fights, she cornered me. Yes.
What would you say was your most satisfying win? Do you think?
Oh, my most satisfying win is you know what? I'm gonna feel the best win that I had was beating Don Frye the third time that we fought. Because listen to the whole story. The first time I fought him, he beat me. Then I fought him the second time, he beat me again. And obviously went to decision, or I tapped out or whatever. But just from sheer exhaustion. And the last time I fought him, I knocked him out with a devastating head kick. That wow, I was shocked.
How important is it? How important is psychology for an athlete when they step into the cage?
Oh, psychology is one of the utmost important things. You got to believe in yourself. You got to believe, and it's important. It's so important that you have to think positive of yourself. If you have anybody around you, like I couldn't have anybody around me telling me that how I was going to lose, or be careful for this, or give me negative feedback at all. It had to be positive feedback because things transfer out. It's so. Have you ever read The Secret? Anybody ever read The Secret?
I have.
There's a book. Yeah, there's a book
I know
called
about
The Secret. For those of you who don't know, there's a book called The Secret. I'm glad that you read it. It tells you it's pretty much what you believe in. You can do it. We can all do the things that we can't do. It's just that we're all so caught up with them. Oh, it's too hard. It's too impossible. No, nobody's ever done it. No, make your own limits. Set your own things to do. That was number one for me. Positive feedback.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Positive feedback is needed always. Negative feedback with me in my corner, in my camp, is never needed. If anybody comes up with anything negative, they leave the gym, because I can't work out with negative aura. I don't want bad aura, bad people around me talking about crap. It's only good, positive stuff, and we carry on from there.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because one of the quotes I pulled out of your book, which I have to remind our listeners, it's a great book to read. Again, the name of the book is Gatekeeper, The Fighting Life of Gary Big Daddy Goodridge. It was a fascinating read, but one of the quotes I pulled out of the book was, you wrote, as a fighter, you don't have to believe you have to believe you are the favorite, or you don't stand a chance. So what advice would you give Jose Aldo when he plans to fight Conor McGregor? Because in their most recent press conference, well, gosh, I felt kind of sorry for Jose Aldo, because the crowd was really brutal.
The advice that I would give to Jose Aldo is, there's many different ways that you can play the game, but I guarantee you, Jose Aldo is gonna be like on fire that night. He should be on fire, and he will. I can't say these words on the air, but let me tell you, he's gonna tear McGregor a new asshole. I didn't say the words. He's gonna give McGregor a new asshole. Trust me.
Okay, I like that answer.
Yeah, Gary, I was wanting to know just about your Pride experience and going over and fighting Japan. Just talk a little bit about your first experience with Pride.
Oh I have nothing but good, positive, solid things to say about the Japanese, and they do it. They do everything up. They go to the upstream, highest heights that you can ever want. Going over to Japan was a shock to me. It's like you're walking into a new dimension in the universe. I love it. I love Japan. Japanese people, my people. I love them.
I read in the book that one of the owners of Pride also threw you a great wedding. Can you share that story for us? With a little rap session up on stage. Sounded pretty cool.
Yeah, we had Quentin Jackson and who was it? Vandalay Silva did a rap at my wedding. It was great. Those guys did a wonderful thing. We loved it. I told the Japanese guys. I said, I'm thinking about getting married. That's all I had to say. They done everything. I didn't have to do nothing. All I had to do was show up, go to the airport. Everything was looked after. They'd done everything for me. They were nothing but really gracious, amazing hostess. I really miss my time in Japan, and sure do miss and love the guys that shared it with me.
I wanted to ask you your thoughts on kickboxing's current growth in the United States right now. And we see it exploding with Glory and all of them.
You know what? I wish that it would grow more, because it is something that I think like MMA is taking over. MMA is taking. You don't really hear about boxing no more. Whereas they used to have the $20 million fights and the $50 million purses. But they don't have these anymore, and I think that I believe obviously that the UFC MMA is taking over. The glory of kickboxing is something that is needed in order to go further on with MMA. It goes hand in hand. So does it need to go somewhere? Absolutely, 100%. I love it. After my MMA career, I went into kickboxing. I did it for 7 years, and I retired there. I think I retired at like 46 years old.
Can you share with our listeners the fascinating story about how you met Muhammad Ali and what he said to you?
Oh, yeah. Oh, you just want to hear the N-word, huh? Is that it?
No, God, no.
You just want to hear the N-word. Oh, you want me to tell you what the N-word is? I met Muhammad Ali. I was fighting in Las Vegas, and I believe I didn't know that Muhammad Ali was there. There was Russian around, or that he might be there. Maybe he's there. Anyways, I couldn't concentrate on it too much. I had to really concentrate on my fight. So I got in there and I won my fight. I won it easy. I can't even remember who I fought now, but I'm sure I tore the guy a new asshole. Oops, I'm not supposed to say that word. Anyways, I fought this kid, and I won very convincingly. I knocked him out, blew him out of the ring pretty much. And then after I came down, I came out of the ring, and somebody said, Muhammad Ali's in the ring, over there. So he was sitting beside Ishii, and I went up to him, and right out of the ring, I ran over, and I gave him the biggest bear hug I could ever hug anybody. And said, oh, Muhammad Ali, I love you. Oh, man, I love you. Thank you so much for coming to my fight. It was just a little kid again, and he pulls me close, and he says in my ear, the only thing he said to me, he says, "You're one tough nigger." He says it in my ear. Oh, I love you. I'll take that. Go ahead. But it was great. I had a great time. I'm so happy that I was in the presence of Muhammad Ali. He's the greatest fighter that ever walked the earth.
You have the same birthday as him, don't you, right?
Yes, I do. January 17th.
Yeah.
We share the same birthday, yeah.
That's very cool.
Just talking about just the experience of just the kickboxing and MMA and Pride. Was there any of the combat sports that you just enjoyed more than the others, or did you like them all about the same?
You know what? I really enjoyed anything that paid me money. That's what it was about. It was about getting paid. You liked anything that paid money. So it was, whether it was, today was boxing, tomorrow was kickboxing, the day after that it was, MMA. So I really didn't care. It was about earning a living and moving forward,
I read that you also
definitely
wrestled in Japan, right? Didn't you also wrestle besides everything else? That was one of the other things that you did as well.
Yeah, I did. I think about four wrestling matches. Four wrestling matches in a New Japan Wrestling League, and I did that.
Very cool. Very cool.
That was all right. It was the funniest thing. It's you move your arm and people start flying. It was amazing. It was incredible. I had a really good time. It opened my eyes up at wow, these guys are getting paid for doing this. I mean, the bumps and rolls and everything is true, but holy shit, it was incredible. I had a good time. It was all in the name of good fun and earning some money.
I like that.
To get your opinion on who's going to win between Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather when they meet on May 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
To be quite 100% honest with you, I really don't care. I wish they beat the piss out of each other. I just want it to be. I want it to be a very good, even fight. I don't care who wins. I really don't care. I just want it to. I want them both to feel like they're both going to win, so they come to the ring with fire in their eyes and just keep going. Do not leave until somebody's out. I don't want it to land in a decision. I want somebody to knock the other one out.
Absolutely.
Gary, the UFC is spending a lot of money on drug testing this year. What are your thoughts on the use of PEDs in the sport?
My thoughts are a little bit different. My thoughts totally different on this. How much do you really want to win if you're not going to treat? Everybody wants to win. Everybody wants to win, and not everybody can win. There's going to be 10 fights, and there's going to be 10 losers and 10 winners. And so what are you going to do? So the thing is that if I told you that hey, listen, if you win this, if you go into this fight, whoever you're fighting, and I give you these pills or these injections in your ass, you're gonna be stronger, you're gonna be better, you're gonna, how much do you really want to win if you don't want to try it? You know what I mean? Everybody wants to win, but not everybody can win. Everybody wants an edge over the next person, but you can't always have an edge. So the PEDs, that's where the PEDs come in. Okay, well, I can take this edge, and I can win, and I won't get caught because there's tests and there's ways to break the test. And the thing is about how if I went on PEDs today, and I'm having a fight in June, and what month are we in right now? We're in April. If I went on PEDs today, and we're having a fight in June, I can get off my PEDs in time to earn benefits from going on the PED and get off in time. That's clean. You understand? So when you have people doing PEDs, just because they're on PEDs doesn't mean that they're going to get caught. Because you still, and even if you do get caught, or if you don't, let's say that you don't get caught, there's gains that you will make on PEDs on your off season when they're not testing. On your off seasons, that you will benefit from when you do fight. So when you see all these big giant people around let's go to the number one place where PEDs are used in bodybuilding. You go to bodybuilding, these guys swear up and down, hey man, I'm not on nothing. Meanwhile, their wrist is about as big as a toothpick, and the rest of their body is as big as a watermelon. How are you not on PEDs? Oh no, I don't do steroids. Okay, so listen. The thing is, you beat this by going on and going off. And there's people that have professional amateur boxing in Canada, they give us tests anytime. Anytime they called you on the phone, anytime they called you up, they were doing tests. They did when they called your name, you had 4 hours to get into a testing room and be tested. So whatever you were on, you weren't going to get caught on. That's how you got to do the test. You can't do the test by coming to a fight and say, well, I'm going to test everybody at the fight. That ain't going to work, because you know what? If my fight's in June, I'm going to get all the benefits from it today and get off in time enough to check. But now they're doing different. They're learning this stuff, and they're getting smarter at it. So it's getting better, but it's still you can still find ways of beating the system. And then there's always people, if you give them money, they will help you out in terms of making the test be whatever you want it to be. I remember I did a test once. And I was scared. I was kind of worried because I had just started fighting. It was just brand new fighting, because I left the sport, arm wrestling, and I was in a bench press competition, and I had to be the strongest there was, and it was tough. So I went on some PEDs to try to beat everybody. I was in the sport to be the biggest and the roughest and the toughest and so on and so forth. So then when I started fighting, I realized that how it's two different things. I can't be the biggest, toughest, or roughest. I had to be the more skilled and have the strength in the right areas. So the PEDs, so I was on this stuff, and they called me to go in and test, and I talked real sweet, real nice to the people that were doing the test, and they sent me in the room by myself, and I did what I wanted to do. Came out of there fine. As a matter of fact, I remember at some times in another test, going in for a test and walking in with pee in between my legs. So when they saw my penis come out and go into the into the little swab cup, they would see that, and it came out.
Wow.
There's ways around everything. There's absolutely ways around everything. When people say that you can't, this sport is the cleanest sport, bullshit, because there's ways around. You tell me a way how you're going to test somebody, and then tomorrow I'll figure out a way how to beat it. And I'll take you in and show you how to beat it.
Hey, Gary, you fought all over the world. What do you consider to be, the best crowd that you fought in front of?
The best crowd? Well, not the Canadian, not the American crowd. The American crowd are the worst. The reason why the American crowds are the worst, because they boo like crazy. The boo birds come out and never go home. Like go home, boo birds. Boo, boo, boo. I mean, you have guys in there fighting their yin-yangs off, and people are booing them. I mean, these guys are trained many, many months for this stuff, and people are booing them. I can't understand that. The days for the Tank Abbott, it's all over. Tank Abbott can't get off a bar stool and walk inside and win, and if you boo him, great. But he was, the days for those are over. These are when people train their backsides off in order to just compete. And that was on an amateur level. On a professional level, people, you get out there and people are getting better now at understanding the MMA game. So the boo birds are less. But still, I hate hearing boo. I hate that. So you get the boo birds from America. America is quick to start booing people. I hate it. I would like to go with water balloons, and everybody that boos just toss a water balloon. I would like that. That would be cool.
If you could fight anybody again, if you could have one rematch with anybody, who would it be?
I would fight Gilbert Burns.
Really?
I would fight Gilbert Burns in a heartbeat. Yes, because I lost him so quick, and I didn't even really fight. He kicked me upside the head. he kicked me outside. The guy kicked me in the head, knocked me out. I would fight him in a New York minute.
What about Shannon Briggs? I feel like he's the one that got away, so to speak. There's no love lost between you and him, right?
Oh no, Shannon Briggs is yeah. If he was trying to get me to hate him, he certainly did, because even now, all this time after my fighting, I hate the guy.
Yeah.
I hate Shannon Briggs.
Just backtracking a little bit, you were just talking about just the different ways around the testing and this and that. A couple things that I've always heard in my time just being involved in a lot of team sports where obviously PEDs are around there in locker rooms and there in clubhouses and whatnot, but it's always the doctors who are with those scientists that are outrunning the testing, so to speak, and you kind of alluded to that. Could just talk about that a little bit.
You know what? I used to see. Now I'm not going to mention any names, but I used to see people in the backstage of Pride shooting up whatever the hell it was shooting up with in the backstage of Pride. You're in the back of the dressing room with all the other fighters in the blue corner and the red corner, and people are shooting up out in the open. I'm like, holy fuck, what the fuck is this? I couldn't believe it. And yet still, everybody knew about it, but nobody did anything. Yeah, of course. You always have doctors and whoever on board to help you how to try to fight, get past your PED testing. And no matter what they do, whatever they come up with right now, the very next day somebody's coming up with something to beat it.
When you were fighting in Japan, you said that you really felt in your book that you could feel the energy and the fans really loving you. And you have a great relationship with those Japanese fans. Talk to me a little bit about why, besides the fighting in the organizations over there, why you felt such a kindred spirit with Japan. Because from reading your book, it sounds to me like you felt very much at home in there, even though you weren't Japanese.
Because I learned how to speak Japanese, and
wow.
I really felt that I learned how to. My Japanese is very good. I learned how to speak Japanese, and I felt that the people embraced me as one of their own, and I really I held that, and I cherished that. So I really engulfed myself with the feeling, and I loved it.
And then it was interesting in the book, I also read as well, that I found it fascinating that a lot of people you fought, such as Coleman, actually became your corner man. And with like Mike Bernardo, you actually buried the hatchet. Can you share with our listeners a little bit about those stories as well?
Coleman, me and Coleman just got off the phone about an hour ago about this. Talking about we just got off the phone. We were talking about when he was beating me around the wing when I was doing the wall walk. Yeah, it was good. We loved it. I couldn't do anything else. I didn't know how to get out of it. The sport was much too early. And Mike Bernardo, he ended up. I knocked him out. I think it first started out where I knocked him out quick, and then he came back and knocked me out quick and stood on me like he really won something big. But I have no animosity. I thank God I buried the hatchet before he died, because I sort of felt like crap.
Right. What do you think about the fact that so many women are competing in mixed martial arts now? Would you have ever predicted when you started, because to me you're sort of an MMA veteran and a pioneer, that women would be competing in the sport?
I think it's great. Women do everything, It started off with bowling. Men bowled, and then women started bowling. So let them go all the way. Then it went from bowling to golf. So after bowling and golf, they do everything else. So let them. But you know what? So hold on a minute. So after they finish doing their housework, they can go do the other stuff.
Mr. Moore, why do you think it's so funny? I'm not going to touch that one with a 10 the 10-foot pole. Mr. Moore, why do you feel that Gary makes such a great addition to your organization?
Actually, he's brought in a ton of fans. I mean, anybody that's actually loved UFC and watched the UFC know Gary Goodridge, you know. And he's put me in touch with some really great guys that's helped me build this tour into what it is today. We brought on Mark Coleman, Don Frye, possibly Tom Erickson, Chris Lieben, and it's just growing by the day.
Awesome.
Ask you, Gary, who do you enjoy, watching fight the most?
Honestly, I love John Jones. I love John Jones. John Jones and Daniel Cormier are my favorite people to watch. I love watching these guys. So if I had to pick, I'd say John Jones, but I love Daniel Cormier as well.
Anything else you want to add today, Gary?
I wanted to let everyone know that how I'm doing we didn't talk about my tour that I'm doing in Ohio. I'm doing a tour through Ohio. I leave in about 12 hours from right now. I leave in the morning to go to Ohio, Troy, Ohio, to do a seminar tour. And also I like to tell everyone I'm on Twitter at GaryHGoodridge.com. Sorry, there's no .com. At Gary H. Goodridge. That's my Twitter handle. It's real me. And just say hi to everyone, and thank you very much. I love talking to you. Call me back again sometime. Brian Moore is doing wonders for the game. He's going to open up several different avenues for other fighters that have retired that are looking for things to do. Brian Moore is also getting involved on and helping us with quite a bit. So thank you to Brian Moore, and check me out on Twitter.
Before we go today, I want to leave our listeners with a quote from your book, which I feel summarizes Mr. Goodridge's great contribution to the sport. And I quote him, "I see myself as a blue-collar worker who went into a sport, became a full-time athlete, and then became a blue-collar worker again. I've won the game of life already. I came from virtually nothing and ended up on top of the world." Gary Goodridge, thank you so much for joining us today. I want to remind our viewers that they can follow Gary at Gary H. Goodridge on Twitter. He does answer his fan questions. He's really good about that. And thanks, everybody, for their time today. Mr. Moore, we look forward to hearing more about the tour with Gary as well.
Yes, you can check us out, our homepage for the website. We actually have an Elite MMA homepage. It's on lovemma.com. They have all our tour information posted there. You can also go on to vote for who you think should be our next inductee into the Hall of Fame.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. Rob, you got anything else to add today? Debo?
No,
yeah, I just want to say,
appreciate the time to talk to Gary. Go ahead, Rob.
I just wanted to say thank you, Gary, for joining us, man, and thank you for all the incredible fights you provided throughout the years. I'm a big fan, man. You provided some incredible fights.
Thank you very much. You know what? I hope someday to shake your hand in person.